Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Game Set Live. Hit that like button, tell a buddy or two if you like what you hear, and sub if you like what you hear. So, the Xbox Bethesda Showcase has come and gone, and there was an extended showcase where it was pretty much just more details and interviews of what we saw in the main showcase. And, well, I have the man, the myth, the legend, my friend Noof Nukem, back from hiatus to tell me and all of you exactly what he thought of that showcase. We'll also have ACS Husk joining us in about 10 minutes. And then midway through the show, we will be graced with the presence of Doom Cutie from the Xbox Ultimate podcast. Yes, the Aussie gamer, everybody knows. Um, but first things first, I'm sure everybody's wondering what Noof's been doing. Noof, what have you been doing? Living life, right? Touching grass?
I was going to say extending the foreskin, but hey man, I've been good. I can't complain. I've been, like I said, doing exactly what I said I was going to do. It's kind of just step back from things, clear my head, get away from the toxicity of the community, just not have a schedule anymore. Being tied into a night or a day or an hour or 2 hours, and it's not. And don't get me wrong, it's not that that I don't love podcasting, and I certainly miss the community big time. Uh, but I just needed sort of a break, a refresher. I'm trying to think of things to do with the channel, and all sorts of things like that. And hopefully in the future, when I feel the time is right, then I'll come back to this full time. But for now, I'm happy just to kind of sit on the sidelines, do the occasional guest appearance like this one, and go from there. But otherwise, it's been really good. And I guess just before we get into things, first of all, I want to give a shout out to our good friend Animated Evil. I know, like he's been going through a tough time recently, and so I want to say hi to Animated, let him know what I'm thinking about him, and if he ever needs to reach out and talk to someone, there's lots of people in the community, including myself, who are here. And a huge shout out to not only just a great podcaster, a fantastic gamer, but a great friend, Assassin Lupa. She's fallen on hard times once again, and a big shout out to her, and let you know that all the gamers, including all the podcasts and panels you're on, we're thinking about you. We love you. We miss you, and we're rooting for you. And we hope that you can come back.
Yeah, this is true. It's my co-host, my partner in crime, and gotten close over the years. That's everybody's mum. Yeah. Um, get well, Lupa. Come back to us, please.
She's a great lady. There's no question about it. And
Oh yeah.
we're worse to wear when she's not here. Giving us the gears or just having a laugh and telling it like it is.
Yep.
But thanks for having me,
So
Bob. It's good to be back. I know it's been a while since I've been here with you. So, like I said, it hasn't been intentional. Just this is the way it is. But this is a good time to be here because, again, we've had a few shows and some stuff to basically sit down and really chat about.
yeah, this is true. I mean, we've had a Capcom show. We've had a showcase by Xbox and Bethesda. We've had an extension of that showcase. We've had Summer Games Fest. I'm sure I'm missing. I've got people probably yelling at the screen right now, or their phone telling me that I'm missing something else. But those are the only ones that pop into my head right away. Probably because they're probably the only ones I watch. So yeah, but we've got some games coming out that have got updates coming,
Mhm.
remasters, remakes. Um, Resident Evil, fans of Resident Evil, my personal belief, the best Resident Evil ever, number 4, is
Right.
being remade and re envisioned. Don't mess it up, Capcom. I love that game. And I don't know, chat. Tell us what you think. Are they going to hit it out of the park with Resident Evil 4 like they did the remakes of 2 and 3? Or, I don't know. They seem like they're going to be a little cavalier with plots. I don't know. I thought the scenery and everything was perfect in 4. everything down to the voice acting, and I mean, all I want's better graphics. Noof, did you play 4?
Yes, I have played 4 on a variety of consoles. Yeah, Resident Evil 4, correct?
Yes, yes,
I
sir.
remember playing it originally because it originally came out on the GameCube. So I played it on the GameCube, and I think the last time I really played it was on the Nintendo Wii. And to be honest with you, I actually enjoyed the Wii version more than the original GameCube simply because the actual shooting mechanic with the Wii remotes worked really good. You were able to get very pinpoint accurate with like headshots. And of course, we all know with Resident Evil, if you're not great at headshots, you're really, losing ammo. So that was a lot of fun, but that's a
Definitely.
long time ago. The remake looked absolutely dynamite and definitely something I would consider jumping back into.
Yeah, it did. It looked good, but there were some scenes that I saw in that remake that I didn't recognize, which made me think that maybe they're going to change. They're going to change up the setting and whatnot. And personally, I don't think they should change that at all. I loved it. Well, did it? You see the space show that Jeff Keighley put on?
Yes, the one before the showcase,
Yeah, the Summer's Games Fest.
Summer Game Fest. Yeah, I got a
Yes.
chance to check out Summer Game Fest. I wasn't overly impressed with that, to be honest with you.
Well, if you like playing games in space, you'd loved it.
Seems to be a lot of space stuff. Yes.
I'm a firm believer that these developers hire these firms that have a finger on the pulse of the gaming community, and they tell these developers what's hot and what's not. And we know these games are in development for 4 to 6 years. And apparently, when they talked to these firms, they said space games, and now all these space games are rolling out. So I could be completely wrong. This could be a total internal thing done by each developer, but it's kind of strange that all these developers are making games in space. So, yeah. Chet, tell us what you think. Do you think these developers are hiring the same firms that are giving them the same information, or do you think they all talked to each other spiritually and came up with the space ideas all by themselves?
Well, that is one of the biggest issues with the games industry, and I guess it's always been around, but it's more noticeable nowadays. Is that when somebody strikes gold, when they come up with a popular genre or they come up with a game that sort of hits it out of the ballpark, we notice that everybody is quick to follow suit, especially big companies. They want to ride. They like going for the safe bets. Heck, I guess we all do. We all like if we're a betting man and you're putting down money on a horse or whatever it is that you might be into, you'd rather go with the odds on favorites more often than not. I think the industry now plays it safer than ever before, simply because of the amount of money that goes into making a game, how big of studios they have to hire, and the length of time in development now. So, like I said, if a genre gets hot, it blows up. I mean, we've had that through almost every generation. During the 16-bit era, it was platformers and side-scrolling shooters, like Thunder Force and Galaga, all these sorts of things.
Yep.
And then, in the 16-bit era, it kind of switched to a bit of a platforming. And then, of course, it was the fighting genre between Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat kind of set the world on end, and everybody was making a fighting game. Some were good, some absolutely sucked. And then during the 3D era, during the Saturn, the N64, the PlayStation, there was kind of a mix mash of everything. But I guess overall, I mean, what game would you? I'm trying to figure out what genre really stuck then, because
Um,
there seems like a lot of it
Mario
was
64. You remember when Mario 64
yeah,
came out, and then all of a sudden you had all these Mario 64 clones. You had
yeah,
Croc, you had Gex. The list goes on and on. But I think really they turned the platformer, the side-scrolling platformer, they turned it into a 3D modeled world,
right,
and that
yeah.
took off.
Yeah, I
Really
think
did.
the biggest problem I had with that era, especially not so much when it happened when I was younger and like right on the ground floor, but now going back and playing the older consoles, I feel like a lot of the games back then were very experimental. because again, 3D technology was very, very new. It was kind of like the way people stepped into VR. Like remember the original VR stuff was very rudimentary, very rough, and now it's starting to come into its own. And I felt that was really the PlayStation, Saturn, and N60. Like for me, that's the one era of gaming now that I have the hardest time going back to, as opposed to 16-bit, which we have games today that echo the 16-bit genre. Only to be honest with you, the games we have today from the indie developers are largely better than anything we had during the 16-bit era, because I think latency, and of course, they've learned a lot about development, and development tools have become so much better. They can make them bigger, better, faster than they could during the 16-bit era. It's just amazing what people can do now with sprite graphics and stuff like that. And input lag was huge back in the 80s and 90s on games. We didn't know it too much back then because that's what we accepted. But now when you play some of the modern 16-bit stuff, you're like, wow. But not to get off track, but yes, the copycat formula is always out there. Battle Royale got popular a couple of years ago, and well, guess what kind of genre we have popping up all over the place? That and the horror genre seems to be coming in very strong now, and everybody seems to be doing some sort of a story-based horror game.
Yep, definitely. And I I do like horror, but some games live solely off that horror, and they lose me on story. I
Mm-hmm.
tried to love Visage or whatever it's called, but just so many. I can have so many jump scares, and be startled so much before you got to give me a little bit of story.
Right.
I I just can't play 4 hours of getting scared and oh, this is what you're playing and this is the story.
The medium came out, and the medium wasn't overly scary, but I applaud what they did with the medium, because it felt like it didn't really feel like a lot of other games that came before it. The whole split screen, in one realm and out of the other. That was pretty cool. I actually enjoyed that a lot more than I thought I would.
Definitely.
And
Yep.
the Evil Within 2 was another great game, and obviously Xbox has that studio now under Bethesda. Tango Softworks, which just recently put out Ghostwire Tokyo. So they're coming into their own, and they've been making some good stuff. There's been a lot actually, but obviously everybody's really tried to copy the Resident Evil formula. Some have done relatively well, some have not. Silent Hill might be one of the most notorious franchises that isn't named RE. And hopefully they'll come back with something in the near future. But like I said, a lot more have failed than they have succeeded.
This is true. And I do applaud the medium. I thought it had a great backstory building up. You really felt like you knew the character and you were so comfortable stepping into her shoes that I felt like I was part of the game. They really did a good job of nailing that down.
Yeah, Thimber probably sums it up very good here. I personally feel like we are living in the age of remakes. It does start to feel like that. Um, you know, and I'm kind of halfway in and halfway out when it comes to the remakes, Bob. We see that obviously now The Last of Us 2, right? And like I'm all for an older game getting remade, or a game that was really rough around the edges, but it had great, at the time was had a great premise, a great story behind it, but just never reached its full potential. But then you get something like The Last of Us, which was already a phenomenal game, game of the year winner, came out on the PS3 and was quite good, came out again on the PS4 and again was the same game with, better frame rate and higher resolution. Now
Hmm.
you get a remake of a game that really didn't need a remake. So I have issues with that and per se, but at the same time, they did put a lot of effort into it and it looks phenomenal. So I guess if you're either a fan one of The Last of Us, great, or maybe you're just new to the franchise. I mean, a lot of people are just finally now picking up a PlayStation 5, and they're looking for a great game to play. And of course, if it comes out coinciding with the television show, it's going to be a huge boost in sales. And I think that's what they're hoping for. Is they're hoping to kind of double dip and capitalize on the popularity of the upcoming show. And of course, being able to resell another game and again make a ton of money on a game that they had to spend a lot less resources to do. So it's a better return on investment. And damn well, Bob, that game the remake is going to sell like hotcakes. They'll have 4 or 5 million copies of that game just on its name recognition alone out the door, no
Oh
problem.
yeah. Especially, I mean, and I'm not the only one that feels like it's the best one of the series. So yeah, it's gonna sell like hotcakes.
Go back and make a lot, like I said already, the 32-bit, 64-bit era of the N64, the Sega Saturn, and that era. Those are the eras that really could use a lot of those games. Like, go back and remake a Siphon Filter, or go back and remake the original Twisted Metal on new age engine and graphics, or go back and make some of Sega's old games. Like, can you imagine like a brand new like date and age like Daytona USA, or some of these games? Go back and make some of those that would look absolutely astonishing with today's graphics and hardware performance.
True. So what would you give the Xbox Bethesda Showcase as a rating 1 to 10?
I always struggle with the ratings, but I'm going to say overall, Bob, I'd have to go. I'm going to give it. I'm going to give it an 8, but just grasping at that 8, just grasping. I'm going to tell you that the first part of that show started out absolutely dynamite. Okay, I mean, seeing Forza, which was unbelievable,
Right.
absolutely stunning,
Yep. Agree there.
exactly what I expected. From turn 10, and of course the extra delay looks like it's paying off, and and it's disappointing though that again it's not going to be out this fall. It's coming early next year or whenever. But that was one of the first ones that blew my mind. Redfall looks a lot better than I had given it credit for in the past. Of course, we got to see a good chunk of gameplay, and that's the thing I credit them with the most. Yes, they lived up to that. For a change, we got to see solid gameplay of a good majority of the show. It wasn't just here's a CGI or here's a quick 30-second tease and then it's coming God knows when. They did that well. But I guess the part where they struggle with, first of all, like I said, the middle of the show started to lose steam. I think a lot of us, including those of us who watched the show live that day, and we were doing a podcast, we felt like we were almost starting to chat through the middle because it was starting to get very, very mundane. There was a lot of indies, a lot of weird titles, a lot of stuff popping up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it just again that lull, and we kind of expected with those shows, but this one had sort of an odd lull. But the pacing was good. No game stayed up and overstayed its welcome, so that was good. And like there was nothing there that okay, it's 10 minutes of the same crap, and there's a developer coming out and boring us to death. They left that for the extended edition, which I thought was absolutely horrid. But
Yeah.
yeah, I tried watching it the other day, Bob, and I was like, "Are you serious? You tried to
I
bait me
know.
to watch this again, and you gave us absolutely nothing new, which we expected."
Nothing.
But just hey, here's an extended edition. Um, you know,
Yeah.
but yeah, so overall, there was some really good stuff, some surprises, and again, the gameplay was great, and it finished strong. The whole Kojima thing, well, and I want to stress this. I was never a fan of Kojima, and if you can ever go find anywhere where it said that I was a big Kojima fan, loved his games, because I wanted to just say to the Xbox guys who just trashed Kojima for how long and trashed Death Stranding, and then you get super excited now because he's making something Xbox. I have an issue with that. Like, you can't be a hypocrite. That's what I call hypocriticism, right? So all of a sudden, Kojima doesn't become God because he's now making a game for Xbox. He's still, to me, the most overrated developer in the um, games ecosystem. Jeff Keighley was probably rolling over in his grave already. He's not even in the grave,
Oh
but he was
yeah.
probably rolling over in one. And not saying not taking away from Kojima. He's very creative. He's come up with some crazy stuff, and I actually liked that Stranding, believe it or not. And I had some when that game first came out. I remember sitting there going, like, God, what the hell is this? But I played it and actually enjoyed it. Never did get to finish it. Have to go back with that. But I don't want to see Xbox guys all of a sudden give a shit about Kojima, and then all of a sudden go the other route and start watching Kojima fans on PlayStation now all of a sudden don't care about Kojima because now he's over on the Xbox side a little bit. So it goes both ways. But regardless, whether you think it or not, it was still surprising and still kind of a big announcement. And then, of course, finishing off the show with Starfield, which absolutely blew
Oh,
my mind. I was
oh
on the
yeah.
fence with this whole game right up until that point. They sold me on it. They sold me. I said, Game Pass or not, I'm plunking down the 89.99 whatever it is Canadian to buy this game when it comes out. It looked absolutely crazy. It's got some issues still, as we can tell, going back and watching the 4K feed. But hopefully, with the extra time, they can iron that stuff out. And yeah, and yeah. So strong start, lull in the middle, strong finish. And the biggest disappointment was really no surprises. I mean, you look at all the people, yourself included. We all did those what we'd like to see pre-show things. And how many people basically put the moon out there, never even got a chunk, let alone anything. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Got nothing. Like there was no Fable, there was no Indiana Jones, there was no Perfect Dark, there was literally no nothing from the future. And now I know it's that fine line of give them too much, and if it's too far out, people complain. But at the same time, you got to throw, especially the Xbox community right now, which I mean, again, is like the fact that Hellblade wasn't even there. I expected we would have got like a bit of a deep dive on Hellblade. Like that game's got to be close to finish now. You would think. I mean, it didn't take that developer that long to do the first frigging game. When you look at it in retrospect, so why is it
Second
taking
one's
longer now?
way
I mean,
different.
it's way,
I will say that.
yeah. So, but that's my take on the show, Bob, right there in a nutshell. And that game, what's it called? Let me just bring this. This was my surprise of the show. Was that game called High on Life with the talking guns?
Oh, so Rick
Holy
and Morty
mother of God.
spinoff thingy.
Yes,
Like
bro.
was weird.
I was laughing. We were all going, "Yep, that's a day one for me right there." I'm playing that shit. Like that was like that's like okay. Let's take a good shooter, mix it with a little bit of bug stacks, put the whole works in the conundrum, and there's your game with a little bit of that Rick and Morty crazy humor. I mean, basically the sperm cell gun, essentially, is what I call it, where you're shooting the little blue guys that want to replicate. That's
Oh yeah,
what that was. It was
crazy.
hilarious. That's the kind of shit I'm down for. Something totally original, but yet so familiar. Like I said, overall, I think Microsoft did a pretty damn good job. And anybody that's given it like under 6, I don't know if you're watching the same show as me, but man, I thought it was pretty damn good.
All right, everybody, we have got Mr. Husk.
And Husk, how you doing, brother? It's been a long time.
What's up, Husk?
What is up? Yeah, I got enough fucking coursework done, so here we are. I don't get to do shows all that often anymore. I have to usually schedule them like months in advance.
For a second there, I thought you said you don't do shows anymore.
I thought he said he didn't douche anymore.
Yeah,
I don't do either of those things anymore. That's in the past.
Oh goodness!
If you want to see a Deuce show, go look up 2 girls, 1 solo cup.
Oh yeah.
Type in solo; it'll probably pop up a lot faster.
Wow. Hey, shout out to Timmy, Palpatine, Thember. They're here every week in the chat. Love you guys. Jesse B, hollering at Noof.
Petition. So dumb.
Appreciate y'all coming. So I've got 2 panel members now, so I can actually start getting into topics. So we started the Xbox Bethesda Showcase.
Yeah, I heard some of what you guys said, but my shit was going haywire. So.
Oh, that's all right. I mean, how long has it been since you actually used it to do a podcast?
Last time I tried to do a podcast was with Ham Solo, and I ended up on my phone in my garage for pretty much the duration of it. So,
oh wow,
yeah, this is
making me feel bad. I'm gonna have to put it up here and get on camera.
Yeah, I think Husk has been out of the podcast game longer than I have now.
Right? Busy.
Everybody, I got 2 unicorns on my show.
2 unicorns.
Yeah. Nice. You hear about them. You hear that they exist, but they're mythical creatures that you never have a camera handy when you finally do see them.
I'm sorry.
So that's what's up my ass.
Unicorn, you associate it with other stuff anymore.
Oh yeah.
People trying to call us ponies or something?
No, of course not.
You talking shit, Bob?
No, not. You mean you're not undercover ponies? I hope not. I'm not an undercover X-bot.
So what's this moment that blew everybody's minds at the showcase? What's
they started the show with 5.5 minutes of Redfall gameplay. And I have to say, I'm being on the fence about this game and not really understanding what we were going for. If 100% is sold, I'm at 70 because it really, like, not so much the gameplay or the perspective, but the cutscenes where they actually showed part of the storytelling, it reminded me so much of the save the world portion of Fortnite. You know, the actual story portion before it blew up into a huge battle royal and they just completely dropped the story altogether. And I loved that. And it reminded me of that, but with vampires instead of husks, which is kind of strange because I have a husk here. But yeah,
That Redfall looks solid, man.
oh yeah, I can see having
Maybe it's my next
mini.
Left 4 Dead.
I thought
The
Back
Re-
for Blood was supposed to be the next Left 4 Dead.
So,
That didn't
It
work
was
out.
fun, but it's not a solo type game.
Back
so
for Blood, yeah, that's exactly it. Huss, Back for Blood would have been
I loved
awesome
it.
if they didn't mess with the formula so much. They had so much right in the game, like graphically, play control, everything felt very Left 4 Dead. But the whole
Mhm.
like the way that they set the game up with the way it leveled and stuff, it was like no, everybody likes a challenge, but like shit, I was playing Left Back for Blood with like 3 and 4 like Left 4 Dead veterans, and we're getting our asses mopped in that game. So like they basically made it so you had to play it so you can get all those stupid cards to really upgrade your
Yeah.
characters and keep
So-
going back.
And
But I don't
the
want to play the
concept of
level
that
over
was
like 50 times.
awesome,
Right.
but yeah, like you said, it was the implementation maybe was a bit off. But it was fun.
It was fun, but like I said, it wore its welcome really quickly.
Yeah. It did. It did. I played it and I was like, man, this is so nostalgic. It brings back so many memories. And I don't know. I don't know what the difference was between Back for Blood and Left. I think it's because at the
We're
time
doing
Left 4
fucking
Dead
Left 4
was
Dead
new.
had-
Give
Left
us
4 Dead was
give us
just
the
shoot and
original
survive.
spec. Give us the Left 4 Dead 1 and 2 completely remastered while we're on the remaster kick everywhere.
Left 4 Dead was just simply
That-
shoot, run, and survive and communicate. That was it. Get to the safe house, move on to the next point. This game
And
was
the
like too
Infected,
much.
you had to coordinate pretty hardcore.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen, Husk, because Valve doesn't make games anymore.
No, they don't.
So Left 4 Dead was just hard enough. It had little spots, but you never felt like you were getting beaten down too much. Usually, the toughest for Left 4 Dead was right when you got to that fort chapter, and you were trying to get to the chopper or whatever, and then everything kind of came at you the one time, and that kind of and I like that because it kind of basically at that point it was testing the skills or your communication that you basically were building up over the previous chapters, and then it all came into one, and then it was like, now boys, we're going to see how good you really are.
Mr. Nukem, you're not allowed to say get to the chopper like a normal person.
Go get on the chopper, do it. The zombies are coming. Do here, down your ass. Go.
I love it.
There it is. Oh.
And so after the Redfall, we got High on Life, and you all were just talking about that. And as I was watching this gameplay, I thought to myself, if I was extremely high and some stranger just tossed me a fish and said, "Quick, shoot him," that's probably the way I'd look. That's probably what I would do. I would try and shoot him with a fish.
I think it's interesting that the guns are conscious. They're alive.
They're all talking like the knife.
They're living
stab him,
things.
stab him,
It's-
stab him.
Yeah, it was funny, weird, and off-putting all at the same time, which is unique for a game. So I'll take it.
Yeah. I don't remember.
It should be fun co-op.
Quite so many games that 4 players too. It looked like.
Yeah, no,
That'd be cool.
that's going to be awesome, and it had that aesthetic. It somebody said, I think during the podcast I did with Boom, they're like, it's kind of like has this Insomniac vibe to it, and I said, well, yeah, because it almost looks like a first-person shooter version of the game Sunset Overdrive, where everything's very colorful, very bubbly, like really kind of weird. You know what I mean? That's how I kind of took it across.
Yeah, it's
Sunset
definitely going to
Overdrive.
be unique.
Sunset Overdrive meets like Halo meets what do you call it? Bug Snacks meets
meets Crackdown, meets like there's That's something a lot of people didn't. I guess I didn't hear a lot of people say with Sunset Overdrive. Is it had? I don't know. It reminded me of Crackdown. With it wasn't over the top as
Right.
Crackdown, but it felt
It was
similar.
definitely
The
not
way
a
you
game
could
that took
fucking
itself
haul
seriously.
ass through the game the way you could. So yeah, it was a fun game. I
Yeah,
played.
definitely was not a game that takes itself seriously, which is it's what we need, really. I mean, we got so many games and so many critics that are bashing games. We got critics that are taking the games more serious than the developers that made them, and that's not right. So yeah, give us something that's just fun and crazy and off the wall that I can give me a little laugh to go with it.
Can we both admit, though, guys, what one of the biggest disappointments, perhaps, I think, or the biggest missteps here was not getting any solid info or anything on Halo outside of seeing the Pelican in Flight Simulator. Like, I thought for sure we'd have got, hey, guess what, guys? Co-op in Halo. And it happens like next week. Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it sucked, but I was not honestly was not expecting to see Halo there at any capacity outside of the Pelican in Flight Sim. I had heard about that a long time ago, and then Fall Guys with
Master Chief.
Spartan battle stuff, whatever it was. Yeah, two things I don't give two shits about.
Well,
You
hell,
know,
I was
after this show, I honestly starting to feel like the only person earning her paycheck over at Xbox is Sarah Bond.
Oh
I
yeah,
feel like
she
that
is.
lady's been signing everything for Game Pass, and I'm like, what the? I like Matt Booty. What the frig have you been doing, man?
working on
Get
his
on your
booty.
shit.
He's been
Get
working
on your
on his
shit.
booty.
Yeah, you've been working on
I
something. Yeah,
honestly,
he put his name on the boat in Sea of Thieves. Like, dude, like, get some shit out already.
I think she's Phil's replacement at some point. If I'm being honest.
I do believe she is. Yep. That she is being groomed. And she appears to be a very strong, driven woman. And I think she'll do us justice if Phil's confident enough to leave it in her hands.
Mm-hmm.
I would be okay with that. I'd better her than
Agreed.
that other lady.
Can I tell you what the biggest announcement was that didn't seem to
I
strike
know,
the
I
chord
can't.
that people thought it would?
What?
I think it was Diablo 4. I really thought everybody was going to go nuts for that, but honestly, I felt like the reaction to Diablo 4 was very lukewarm. Does that mean that ship has sailed, or because the game was too familiar to its predecessor and all that? So I don't know, but I thought as soon as Diablo 4 was announced, it would kind of been like, man, like that would have been like a showstopper in itself, and probably like 10 years ago it would have been, but now it's just like, Diablo 4.
I
What do you
think
think?
I don't think a lot of people. Oh man! All right, so I guess I'll summarize. I'm not a huge fan of the Diablo series like at all. I didn't really play a lot of it. I've watched a couple friends play it that are huge fans. Um, I think it is literally just the expectations of people far exceeding what is logically expected out of a person because we get so much so often all the time. It's in our face constantly, regardless of what it is: movies, TV shows, video games. It is, we are consuming it 24/7. Okay. So a lot of people apparently don't have the capacity to get their goddamn expectations in check. If you were to go look at the two games side by side, 3 and 4,
Mm-hmm.
4 is implementing a shit ton that 3 doesn't have or touched, and it's improving on everything else it had. It's like they said,
Exactly.
it's way more of a hybrid of everything they've learned up to this point and everything they've done. So, I mean, I don't know. It's like any other game. Like I could speak on it all day, and I've never even played it. All I have to do is watch some gameplay and some comparisons and do some reading,
Mm-hmm.
and I can literally deduce what the problem is, and it was people's expectations.
Reading, what's
Plain
that?
and simple. Yeah. A lot of people don't do that. They should. So that's just that's my opinion. But I mean, after looking at the two more or less side by side and doing some reading on it, they're not the same game. They'll be similar, but it's a whole new thing.
Like
They've
even
added
with
new
Diablo
stuff.
3, in Diablo 3 you went to areas, and now they're boasting Diablo 4 as an open world. So you'll actually have to traverse from area to area, and it looked a lot better, but
Yes.
it's the wow factor that we got from Diablo 2 to Diablo 3. That was night and day. And
Yeah.
now from 3 to 4 is more of it's a refinement of what 3 did so well. It looks better. It's been expanded with an open world. You're going
New
to have
features.
new features. You're going to have these community quests,
New
challenges.
PvP setup too.
Yeah.
That was interesting. I wish more games would do that.
But yeah, I mean, they're expecting that's. I'm trying to think of another game to. Okay, Gears 4 to 5. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
You can't. You're not going to get the same wow factor because 3
Every Call
nailed
of
it.
Duty for the last 10 years.
Oh
Yeah,
wow!
that one
Shots
probably works,
fired.
right?
Shots fired.
Oh yeah.
Chat, let us know. Did you like what you saw out of Diablo 4, and do you agree with Mr. Husk? Was it dramatically different? Because I think it was. That Noof, do you like Diablo?
Yes and no. I mean, I don't think it's a bad game. I was late to the party. I never did even play the original Diablo. So Diablo 3, for example, was my first dip into it. But I just, there's something about those games. And I think that's partly because I know there's some people in the community that love playing them by themselves. And there's some people in the community that have a very set list of friends that they play these games with. And I can tell you that when you're playing that game with friends, yes, it's like 100 times better. Like it's just a lot more fun. But that's the thing. If you don't have people to play it with, it becomes kind of a grind. And and I'm not really super big on the over the that top down 3D whatever you want, a 3/4 studio look and style games. So overall, I'm just going to say like it's not really my bag. It's not something I hate. It's not something I won't play, but they just don't get me excited the way other games do.
Fair enough.
My chat's broken on YouTube. I guess I'll just look at this one. It hasn't updated since Timmy said what's up. Anyway, sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. Talking out loud. My brain's fried.
You're fine. My chat's not working right either. Like you can see it. You can see it through the streaming software right now. But I can't see it through the streaming software. I'm having to use my phone to see it on YouTube, and that's freezing up. I'm having to close YouTube and bring it back up in order to get up to date.
Yeah, I can't. Mine won't even update when I refresh. So,
come on, YouTube.
We got Joe Dunmore in here.
Oh.
Joe Dunmore.
And then,
did you guys see the Final Fantasy news? Or are you planning on talking about that at all?
Yeah, Xbox getting no love again.
Yeah,
no love.
Very upset people.
Yeah, Final Fantasy Remake doesn't look like it's coming to Xbox at all.
I laughed about it.
16 is going to be a PlayStation exclusive.
If anybody likes Final Fantasy, I'm sorry. I know it sucks. But for me, it wasn't as big of a deal as people are making it. Yeah. A lot of over-the-top responses. A lot of laughable things have been said since that event.
I haven't played or finished a single Final Fantasy game in my life, and I'm not about to start. So honestly, I could really give a rat's ass. I've always found that franchise weird for me.
NES or SNES was the last time I played it. So, I mean...
the very first PlayStation. Last time I played Final Fantasy, and it was Final Fantasy VII. But they had to do something. they had to give the ponies that were getting ready to jump off a bridge because
Yeah.
Xbox has got Persona now. They had to give them something to pull them back over.
There has been some crazy shit going on this week. I've hit that block button more times than I can count.
Yeah. Same here.
I've had to
And
mute words I didn't want to mute just to get.
You've hit the block one of Pam Anderson's hit cock.
wow. Oh, I think Wilmie's the only person that's done that.
Yeah, that's true. Wilmie's got some kind of world record going, I think, for blocks.
Oh, yeah.
He might actually have it. I'm starting to think he does.
Yeah.
I don't even think celebrities have that many block people.
Well, I was gonna say, like, it's absurd how many people he's blocked. I would love to see, like, I wonder if they'd release that kind of information. It's not like it gives away personal information. It'd be cool to see, like, the top 10
Yeah. The
list
top
of
10
most blocked accounts.
List. Yeah, who got the most blocked accounts? Wilmie comes up world record.
Oh,
World
sure.
record holder. Wilmie Hood. Yeah, I'm proud of that, bitches.
So back to the show.
Sorry. Yeah.
We were talking about High on Life, and we're actually going to get to play that October 2022. So that is right around the corner.
Yep.
It's not a 2023 game, which
that is
was
co-op.
rare for this show.
Yeah.
And after,
not a whole lot.
huh? Go ahead.
Yeah. No, as I just said, like, yeah, there's not. I don't know. I mean, 2022 is kind of dicked.
Scorn is finally coming out. That's a
Scorn
bonus.
is,
finally.
yes.
Yeah.
I think October, isn't it? Just before
21st
Halloween.
of October.
And you go just before Halloween, baby. You get to play with those
game.
weird friggin' aliens. Alien drips.
Also, another 2022. Right after High on Life, we got a look at a Plague's Tale Requiem coming 2022.
I still have to play the first one, so I can't speak on this, but it looked good. That's all I can say. So go for it. You guys have at it.
The first one was great, and the second one looks even better. So much better.
Although I hope there's more in this game than just rats.
Looks like she's a total badass and like assassinating people and shit.
Yeah,
slingshot and everything in this.
Like straight up, like Splinter Cell style. But
at the same time, her little brother that's with her, in some of the gameplay that they showed, you hear him saying to her, "You promised you wouldn't kill," and she told him, she said, "Yes, I know, I'm not going to." But then she climbs underneath the table, and the first thing you hear is an NPC saying, "There's a killer around us." And I'm like, okay, is she lying to him, or is she being framed? So I don't know. But it definitely looked interesting, and can't wait to play it.
She should just fill her backpack full of cheese and traps.
Well, you definitely don't want to fill it full of cheese unless they're in a sealed package. Hey, they're gonna eat you, like flames or not.
I just ditch the backpack, and they all go toward that. You know, buy me some time.
There you go. That makes sense.
We got a extensive look at Forza Motorsport.
Yeah,
spring 2023.
Wow.
Yep, that blew my socks off. That one.
Holy shit!
Oh.
Like I don't even know what to say about it other than holy shit. Like
that was amazing. That I think that was a nail in
the racing
Gran Turismo.
Yeah, GT will never go away. It'll always have its market, its place, its people, and they'll step it up after this. I guarantee it. I have a very long history of love for Gran Turismo because that was, I've got so many hours into the first few, like so many, and I don't know why. Like I would have these. I'd get hooked on a racer, like wanting to do a racing game, and I play it forever and ever, and then it dies off for me, and I come back to him. And Gran Turismo is always that one. Like I'd go do like 300 lap races and shit back in the day with that game. So
Curious to hear from the chat. Are you all more of motorsport players or Horizon players? Because personally, I'm more of a Horizon player. I've always felt like the sim was just took it a little too far. But
yeah, I can't do them anymore. I can't. But I respect them.
Oh yeah, definitely. Ooh.
Do you play racing games?
Yes, I do, and I will have to give the edge to Horizon. They're both equally amazing games, both very familiar games. But I'm going to say I give it to Horizon just because I like the, not set to a track kind of thing. That unpredictability of the open world racing, a lot more variety, I guess you could say, and a little more forgiving for those of us who don't have the time to like tune the living shit out of stuff. So. So I have to have both of them in my repertoire or in my collection, but I give a little bit of an edge to Horizon.
Yeah, me too.
I would have to agree with you.
The photogrammetry and the large landscapes and going across the country is it's hard to eat. It really is.
Yeah, just like what I can't read that from here. Palpatine. Haha, nice screen name. Yeah, no, I agree with that too. It's Horizon's a lot easier to jump in and just play. Like you go and have fun and do whatever you want and haul ass in an open world. Like Noof said, it's not so serious, and you don't have to tighten one lug nut more than the other on the right passenger tire to take X corner a little better than you did the last time.
This is
Speaking of nuts, this show is about to get even more nuts. Look who's here.
It is a black stripe. Jim Cutie, are you with
us?
While she's hopping in, I am going to go use the restroom. I actually decided to have a beer today. All for you, Bob. All right.
Oh, thank you. Husk is drinking and I am not.
Tisk.
Tisk. He's having a brisk.
So,
all right.
With Husk's break, we did get Flight Simulator updates.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They're giving us gliders and helicopters. Yeah. In November. Apparently, November of this year is their 40th anniversary. Who thunk?
You would have thought. That's been a long time. Crazy.
The day of the showcase, we got a free Pelican to fly that I have flown, and it is so easy to get up into the upper atmosphere, the stratosphere, and it's beautiful up there.
Nice.
It truly is.
Cool.
After that, we got a little bit of Overwatch. The second Overwatch. Yeah. Anybody in here play Overwatch?
Apparently it's a big thing, but I don't know. According to my friends list, I don't see too many people playing it at all. I just recently played the first game. It took me like up until about 6 months ago. I picked up a used copy and decided to give it a go, and I'm like, it's okay.
Just giving Doom Cutie some details right now in a DM on what she needs to do.
Okay. Yeah, this is almost about the time in this show as well as that other show, the Xbox Showcase, where basically they got to the point where they started showing off DLC. I mean, we obviously saw the content added for Flight Sim. And then, of course, we've got the Elder Scrolls Online, High Isle, Fallout 76, The Pit, Forza Horizon 5, the Hot Wheels DLC, which would have got me a lot more excited, back in the day. But now Obviously, like because Forza Horizon 3 had DLC for Hot Wheels, so it's not exactly new. It's just new to this game, and I'm sure it's going to be very familiar, which is awesome because it was literally one of the best DLCs I think any racing game has ever had. But yeah, you just kind of the show really started to hit a lull at this point, and I don't really know if you need it to like I said, there could have been better things shown off than DLC, but who am I to digress? I mean, some people love Fallout 76 and some people love Sea of Thieves and can't wait to see the next iteration or whatever they add to it. But I'm just like, you could have used this time to like show something completely new, something to blow us away here.
I don't want to see anything Sea of Thieves if it's not a private server. So I ain't got to deal with griefers the whole time I'm playing.
Yeah. Amen.
I mean, I love them, and the quests are really cool, and I love sailing on a ship with my friends while one's checking the map and others on the wheel, whatnot. And yeah, I just don't like going out and coming back with like 7 chests and then getting shot by this ship of people that are going around the island waiting to kill me and steal all my loot. I don't like that. Make it
Hello?
stop.
Hey,
You guys, it's
Oh.
working.
Oh, it's working.
nice.
Oh my gosh, sorry about that. That's
you're
so
good.
strange. Sorry, I'm working from my phone at the moment. And the fact that I had to, so I already approved it to use my microphone, but then having to go into the settings again and reapprove it, like that seems weird to me. But hi, how are you? I'm so sorry that I'm late. I
you're
got
fine.
called into school and yeah, so I've been working all morning teaching mathematics. And yeah, so here I am.
Well, it's awesome.
You
It's
heard it
great
right.
to yeah.
You heard it right. She's a teacher, and you can bet your socks that she's not telling them that video games ruin your brain. Like we were all told when we were growing up.
No, I'm actually so I've done professional learning and I'm actually a Minecraft educator. So I'm qualified to teach students and other teachers to use Minecraft in their classroom.
Oh, dang.
that's
That's
awesome.
cool. Damn.
All that.
That's cool. That is very cool.
Yeah, so
Minecraft
yeah, I'm definitely
encourages
not against
creativity.
video
Great.
games.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also there's like, if you didn't submit your assignment because you were too busy playing Fortnite, like that's where I'm going to have an issue. Yeah.
And PlayStation is teaching kids how to become a shady business bitch.
No.
Hey, we're gonna rip
Oh,
people
my
off
goodness.
again.
Cutie, are you addicted to Fortnite?
Okay, I'm on a bit of a Fortnite kick at the moment, only because of the no build. But I tell you what. Okay, so first off, I have to start with the premise that at the beginning of the year, my goals for gaming were to get more followers, get a 50,000 gamer score on Xbox, and to increase my skills in first-person shooters. Now, I've been playing Fortnite, no build, for about 3 weeks now, and the people that I started playing with at the beginning to now, they've said that I've improved so much, and I feel like I've improved so much. So I'm taking that as a win, guys. Whether or not you want to call it addiction or not is up to you.
I just have a question for you. Do you play Gears of War
Yeah.
franchise?
I played some of the earlier ones, but I haven't played the new gen ones. No.
Okay. All right. Because I love Gears. It's my favorite franchise, hands down. It's a big reason why I love Xbox.
Yeah, no, Gears of War is iconic. I think over
You
the holidays,
Xbot.
I've got holidays coming up. I'll probably get into that because some of the games that I'm waiting for haven't been released yet. So I have
play
some
with some
time.
good. My advice is to play it with some good people. Play the Forge if
Yeah.
nothing else. If the PvP gets you a little bit frustrated. Plus, there's also you can play the bots in like Gears 4 and 5. You can set up matches against bots, and you can adjust their difficulty if you just kind of want to get trained in without.
So like Halo.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's great. So that's what I recommend because Gears can be hit and miss at times depending on who you play with and what servers you're on and who you're playing against. So yeah, Gears is definitely a game too. If you suffer with bad ping, you're going to definitely get worse for wear in most cases.
Cool. Well, thanks for that. Someone in the comments said, so on the showcase, they showed off the new Minecraft game.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're getting there. We're
Yeah.
getting there. But
Minecraft
first, we have
Legends.
to
Oh,
play catch up
sorry,
with
we're
Doom
not there
Cutie.
yet. Sorry.
Let's play catch up. Doom Cutie, because of your late arrival, I'm going to subject you to the speed round.
Okay.
Redfall, did you like it? Yes or no? What did you like about it?
Yes, I think it's quirky and interesting, and I'm interested to play it.
Hollow Knight, Silk Song, did you like it? Yes or no? What did you like about it?
It's not usually my jam, but it's on Game Pass, so I'll probably give it a go.
High on Life with strange fish gun thingies.
That looked sick. So yeah, definitely gonna play that.
And did you play the first Plague's Tale?
No.
Well, it looks like the second
Play
one
it.
is going to be a direct sequel, so you got to play the first one.
Okay.
Otherwise, you're going to be lost. You don't want to be lost. Do you like race car games?
Love them.
Yes.
So, are you a motorsport fan or a Horizon fan?
So I'd originally played, like, the first card game that I played was Gran Turismo 3, I think, on the PlayStation 2. So back in the day, I only played simulation card games, but I fell in love with the Horizon series when it came to Game Pass. Otherwise I wouldn't have given it a go. And ever since then, I've been a really big fan of Horizon. However, this new motorsport looks fire, and I can't wait.
Yes, it does. And you'll be waiting too, spring of 2023. But High on Life this
Yes.
October. Flight Sim, interesting or not?
It's honestly boring as bat poo.
Bad.
No offense. No offense.
And that is pretty boring. So
Isn't that called guano? That's
yeah,
guano, right?
Yeah.
Overwatch.
No, you know what? I've never played Overwatch because my confidence levels in first-person shooters is low. Maybe it's something that I might get into in the future, but I don't know. Maybe not.
That takes us into the area where Husk had to take had to go powder his nose. And so me and Noof
I
Nukem
wish.
had just gotten to the point where we were talking about the lull in the show. And the lull in the show, we started seeing download DLCs, games that just there were updates and stuff that was a lot of things were really niche. See, I can do that too.
Niche, you mean? Oh, stop. Oh,
Niche.
are we putting on a camera?
We
Jesus.
could.
I'm
I
actually
always do.
oh my god.
She's
I
still
know,
in
like
her
I
school
can.
clothes.
I'm at school. Like I don't have my cool headset on or anything.
Oh, okay.
I don't look like
So-
an e-girl at the moment. I look like a teacher.
Oh, you are a teacher. You're
You get your
supposed
smart
to look
glasses
like a
on? I love
teacher.
the glasses. Yeah, the glasses are great.
So, the lull in the show, chat, tell us what you thought about the following and if you're looking forward to any of this. So, we got to look at Overwatch 2. We got to look at a Civilization style turn-based game called Aura
Oh God.
History Untold. We're getting a Elder Scrolls Online update. We're getting a Fallout 76 update where you can go to Pittsburgh. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Forza Horizon 5 is getting Hot Wheels, which I actually think saved the lull because the Hot Wheels in the last Forza game was fire.
That was very exciting.
I saw people complaining
can
about
we-
that, and it was successful in the last one. It was fun as shit. So why would you not do another partnership with them and bring it to this one?
Right. I mean, what were they
Yeah.
expecting? I mean, you've already got all of Mexico.
Yeah.
What do you want to do?
Oh, no, that looks so much fun. Like you really, you've really tapped into the inner children of us all, because racing down a Hot Wheels track is it's been on my bucket list. I don't know about yours.
Right? And so and we got another look at Vin Diesel coming back on top of his dinosaur for Arc 2. Yeah.
Hold up, can we do this? Oh my god. Oh, that looks weird. Oh my god.
Hey guys, this is the teacher.
Hey.
Yes.
Oh.
I'm actually at school.
She
Oh, days.
wasn't
Right on.
There she is.
I'm
Hello,
not a
teacher.
liar. I'm not.
Hello,
I'm not
teacher.
lying.
No, look at that.
You were.
Students
I
come back.
have a
"Hey,
dry erase board."
What are you doing?
Oh, I can't take it off the wall.
My
Bummer.
viewership just doubled. No, seriously.
And now I just killed your viewership.
Okay.
Oh,
No.
killing me.
God damn it, man.
So, and
All
then
right.
we got.
What's next? Yeah.
I think we got probably the largest look. It wasn't a big look, but it was larger than our last look at Scorn. And it is also coming the 21st of October of this year.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like High on Life, Freddy Krueger style is what Scorn reminds me of. Because it's got that whole...
It's so
Scorn.
gruesome. Like,
Scorn is short for alien porn. It's that simple.
That was insane.
If you
Porn game.
if you like tentacle porn, you'll probably like this game. Like, just putting that out there.
Got a point. I never thought of that.
I mean,
wow.
I mean, the way that whole trailer started off, the guy like pulling some giant umbilical cord from his belly, it was like kind of weird.
Yeah, the screenshot.
Oh, and they're always
looks
sticking
like
things in other things.
Yes.
Like constantly.
But I want to play it. The game looks so damn intriguing. How can you not? And it's going to be on Game Pass, so there you go.
Yeah, see, that's just it, though.
Well,
Every one of these games is Game Pass. Every one of them.
No, so what was it? 30 out of 30.
Diablo 4 is not Game Pass.
No.
You're right.
Starfield isn't Game Pass.
Starfield is Game Pass, isn't it?
Yes.
Is it?
Yeah, Starfield will be.
Oh shit.
Husk wants us to see what he's playing on Xbox.
Okay.
No,
sorry, I was cold, guys.
I'm trying to show you guys my dry erase board because I used 3M strips to put it on the wall like a jackass.
You really want to show me your whiteboard?
Yes, it's amazing.
I see whiteboards all day. It's really not that impressive.
It has a quote on it that I think everybody will appreciate, assuming it can be seen. We're gonna find out.
Okay.
After Scorn, we saw Flintlock, which is
that looked kind of cool.
Yeah, it looked unique. 2023. And then Minecraft.
Jesse, I know it wasn't a tentacle. I know it wasn't a tentacle, Jesse. However, just the vibes that it gives off, it might be stimulating to that crowd. Just
readable.
Very true.
You know. Then we had
Minecraft Legends, and I was actually, I was sitting on the couch watching this, and I kind of got giddy like a little kid, because if there's one thing that I've said that Minecraft always needed, was the ability to go on adventures with your friends in the Minecraft world. And now we're getting an action strategy game in 2023 called Minecraft Legends. So, yeah.
Yep.
I'm pretty psyched. Yeah, to say the least.
I am so excited. It's just, it's something that I always wanted them to do, but I don't know. I suppose, the online capacity of Minecraft has just been so phenomenal that I guess they had the time to get this right. So I'm hoping that it's really, really right. Like, I don't think this is going to be disappointing.
Well, you know what it kind of reminded me. So Minecraft Dungeons was just that. I mean, it was not really small maps, but they did feel like dungeons in in themselves. It kind of reminds me of a scaled back, like camera angle, scaled back dungeons, but in the open world. Um,
Yeah.
am I wrong to look at it that way? Because that's the way it felt.
I'm hoping we're going to see a little bit of lore in there as well, like a bit more of the story that is Minecraft. Like, what are these characters? Where do they come from? What are their feelings? All that jazz.
Yeah.
I want to have tears. Like, I kind of want to have tears over these like block characters. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I'm a sucker for a good story. So,
And
if it's got a good story, I'll play it, but I gotta wait and hear that first.
after Minecraft Legends,
it's like, oh,
what?
I won't
What is it?
play
No, no.
Minecraft
Yeah.
Legends by until I hear what people say about the story
Yeah.
itself.
It's not my bag, baby.
yeah.
I'm really a Minecraft guy, but yeah.
Okay, well, here is where this next game I'm actually extremely looking forward to because it's like survival but with mechs, and I'm so down for that because I love Mech Warrior and I just love anything. I like Titanfall, any game where I can get the big robot and just run around. The game is called Lightyear Frontier, launching spring 2023, and it literally looks like almost like a cartoonish version of No Man's Sky, and you're doing it all within a big mech. And yeah, I want that. I really do. So, call me strange. Nobody else wants the farming mech game but me. Fine, I'm just taking my notepad and go home.
Yeah, that one did not excite me at all.
Like, it was okay. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Wannabe Anthem is maybe similar to Anthem. I don't know. It didn't really excite me, to be honest. I mean, not as much as some of the other things. And like you said, it was a little bit of a lull in the showcase.
Let me know, chat. Do you like the strange little farming mech game like Bob does? Please.
Mech Warrior Farmer.
The answer is no.
No.
I don't give a mech about that game.
Oh, the next game, the last case of Benedict Fox, I didn't really care for that one either.
Now that one, I actually thought was kind of cool.
See? To differing perspectives.
There you go.
There was something there for everybody.
Yes.
And then
True.
probably
and every time sorry.
No, go ahead. I jumped the gun.
No, every time like people ask me about the showcase overall, I'm like, well, I'm pretty certain there was something there for everyone. Yeah, if you're into shooters, if you're into car games, if you're into indie games, if you're into scary games, like there was pretty much something there for everyone, which I think is really cool.
Which I think a lot of people need to realize is that that's their direction moving forward.
Yeah.
Like that's a big part of it. So yeah, there's like we talked about lulls, but we have to learn to accept them and not bash on a show specifically for that, because there's a whole another segment, whole another demographic that it just in love with the games we didn't find any interest in. We are so much a minority over a large.
That's a great point. It's I always say that
it is
as you say, one person's trash is another person's treasure, and that's how it goes. You gotta,
Oh my god, I love that. That's so yeah.
I mean, definitely. that's a saying that applies to a lot of things in life, and we've seen a lot of shows to cater to like mobile crowd, but at the end of the day, mobile is huge, and that was one of the things we hadn't talked about yet was that massive inclusion of Riot Games bringing over the League of Legends to the Xbox Game Pass ecosystem, whether it's PC or not. It was absolutely like That was a big announcement, whether people want to admit that or not. That was huge for the Xbox team and for the ecosystem, and
Mhm.
most importantly, because League of Legends and some of the games from Riot Games are absolutely massive overseas. They might not be as big here, but I can definitely tell you in the land of the rising sun, those games are what shakes the foundations. And Xbox is trying their damnedest to get inroads over there, and that might not be by getting the console in people's home, but it's damn well going to get you on TV sets or through the cloud or on a PC or wherever it might be. So
The
Well
next
said.
game that they showed, I think, is the one game I've probably seen the most. It's caused the most division in the community, and that is As Dusk Falls. And I
Yeah.
don't know if it's the art style. It's got to be the art style that did it because I didn't see anything else wrong with it. I mean, it had a really cool story. I mean, it looked like these people are like they go out, they move out there and they go into like a diner, and then all of a sudden that diner gets ransacked by a bunch of robbers, and you're kind of stuck in the middle of it and trying to figure out things. I dig that.
Yeah.
It's just that it kind of looked like it was like live action slash almost, I don't know.
I know
Uh,
it had a weird vibe, and it could be the art style, sort of like similar to, oh, I forget the name of it, but it's like, Tiny Tina's Wonderland, like that sort of like
Yeah.
3D but flat
yeah,
at the same time.
Mhm.
There is a name for it, I can't remember. So I think it was like a softer, more muted version of that.
Cell shaded.
But the
Is that what
thing,
you're looking for?
maybe, I don't know. Um, But the thing that's divided people the most is how much time that game was given. Like, why was
yeah,
I think
right.
it's got something to do with the partnership and the business side of things. But it was given like the game developer was there, like talking about it, and it got quite a lot of time. Why such a small game got so much time? Look, I know they're pushing the indie stuff. I know they are. They want to support indie game developers, but I think it's probably probably the first time that we've seen something like that. Given the spotlight. So, but I think anyone who enjoys the Telltale games and what is it? Life is
Life
what
is
is it?
strange.
Life is
Life,
Strange.
Life is Strange.
Life is
I thoroughly
strange.
enjoyed what I've played of that series personally.
Yeah, I've played
Different.
some of Life is Strange, and that's been quite good. Like, it's not
Yeah.
action packed; it's just chill.
No,
You
it's
make
a good
decisions.
story. There's good
Yeah,
story.
and you're there for
Narrative.
you're there for the story. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's look, it's and like we said, it's not for everyone. This game, like the showcase, was not for us. The whole showcase wasn't for everyone. You know what I mean? Like I didn't go in there expecting that I would love every single thing. So I respect that there are going to be people that are super psyched for some things, and I'm not going to be, and that's okay.
That is,
I'm going to share. I'm going to be happy that they're happy.
but that is part of the
Yeah.
strength of Xbox showing over the last while. As Xbox has been not just killing it in volume, they've been killing it in diversity, which is something that other studios and other companies seem to like. I mean, I hate to say it, but if a lot of PlayStation fans had their way at a show, you'd have about the entire show would be filled with God of War knockoffs, over the shoulder, third person action narrative genres. That's it. There'd be nothing
And
else.
Yeah.
remakes and reboots
And
remasters.
remakes. That would be their like
Yeah.
top show.
That's-
Everything's
that's
like
what I
copy of
understand.
the last one. Whereas Xbox has got everything. Xbox got shooters now, RPGs, turn-based games, graphic novel style games. The Diablo stuff. Like they've been covering their damn bases and doing it quite well. Like Sims, you name it. Microsoft basically now has almost every genre sewed up pretty well underneath their own umbrellas.
Yeah, they're trying to figure out how to have a global demographic where they can cover every niche there is that exists
Well,
in
well, when
gaming, and
Phil
they're trying.
Spencer, when he first joined in the role he's in now, he said he wants to bring gaming to 3 billion people, and this is doing that. you know, diversifying, making sure that, you know, every kind of person is going to enjoy gaming on Xbox or with Xbox.
Well, I don't know if you guys talked about it or not, but one of the biggest announcements came several days before the Xbox Showcase with the new Samsung TVs are going to have cloud-based Game Pass built right in.
Yep. That's right. You don't even need a console anymore.
Yep, just
I
your
mean,
controller and your TV.
Whether you like it or not,
Yep.
that's probably where things are going in the future, and that's huge. Even David Jaffe, you know, former God of War developer, he said, "Man, that's what he said." He said, "Basically, like it or not, Xbox is going to lead the way, and that's a big partnership." And like, I mean, everybody buys televisions. Can you imagine people just picking up their new television, coming up? Oh, there's Game Pass on this thing, and just need a controller now. Like, damn.
Yeah. And mark my words, this fall, we could possibly see it at Gamescom. They're probably going to, because they've just announced the TVs and the native functionality of Game Pass and TVs. I expect we see the stick or the puck this fall. Totally. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
By Christmas, yeah.
Yeah, puck or stick,
sure.
whatever. It'll
And
be
shout out to Thimber on YouTube. I'm not alone. He loves Mech Warrior Farming Simulator just like I do. Yes.
You have a friend.
Yes, I do. And another good thing about As Dusk Falls, and I don't know how this is going. I can see you playing it solo. I understand how that's going to work, but also up to 8 players.
Yes.
So is anybody that's playing with going to have a role in that story, or is this going to be a completely different multiplayer component? We don't have the information yet. So
I almost was thinking of it like an interactive Netflix watch party at first because it's so narrative driven. But that's can't be the case with that many people. So I don't know. You'd almost have to have to just hand off choices to people as it plays through. I don't know.
After that,
I bought it back. I told you I would.
Go big or never go home. Grounded, the final release. Full story.
I'm actually excited for this.
Yes. Pretty pumped. Because, I don't know, maybe it was because it was in game preview, but I never really got attached to it, never dug that deep into it. Because you could only go so far with the story. And now it's going to be just laid out, before our feet, and we could just dive right in. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I will definitely check it out. Full blown check it out this time. I got 2 nights into it and was like, oh, I'm tired of killing spiders. I can go play Minecraft while I kill spiders.
It's come really a long way too, because I hadn't played it in I guess a little over a year. And then I hopped in Assassin Lupa's game one night, and she had all this stuff, and I'm like, where did all this come from? Oh, this update and this update and this update, and they did this 2 months ago, and I mean, it's huge now. I mean, she had a house on a raft out in the middle of the pond. It was awesome.
I half expected this game to take the Sea of Thieves.
How you going?
But
my lovely panel member Pete is in the chat, so welcome in.
Peter, it's nice to see you, buddy.
Hey, Peter Parker, Peter Porker.
This Peter's a Jedi.
He's a Jedi. Yeah.
Jedi.
He's a we have Jedi and Palpatine.
Yeah.
Impersonation.
You're no Jedi.
So,
Wait.
Cutie, did you all like Grounded?
Never played it. Looks okay,
dude,
but never played it.
It's fun, Noof, I promise.
You don't have a arachnophobia
until you can't continue playing, if that makes sense. So now it's worth it. Totally worth it.
Spiders are not my jam,
dude,
at all.
But you can turn down the graphics on the spider, isn't it?
Oh God, it's so girthy.
So they're just like blobs coming at you.
Yeah, I think they have a slider for turning down the graphic fidelity on a spider, so they literally look nothing like.
You live in Australia. You guys have the scariest spiders. How can you have a problem with spiders?
That's why.
when they're
She lives in
the size of
Australia.
a house.
Yeah, because
running at you.
I know how dangerous they are.
Our
Yeah,
damn spiders kill us over
they
here. Damn
do.
it.
Yeah.
Spider ate my dingo.
Goodness.
What?
What?
That's backwards.
And of course, we've already talked about the Diablo 4. Sea of
It's not my
Thieves.
cup of tea, but people should be more excited about it that like it. So
Sea of Thieves. Still no private servers. Not interested.
nope.
Don't want to.
Still a pile of fuck that streamers ruined. I don't care what anybody says. Come at me, bro. I loved that game, dude. I dumped 2 years of my life into that game religiously with my wife, and it got to a point where we couldn't get on and do one story mission without being like just obliterated, plain and simple. And it's not for a lack of trying, but
Well, I
you
think me
can't-
and Noob
you-
were talking about it while you were powdering your nose, Husk. You go out with your friends and it's a blast. I mean, you go out and you follow the clues, you follow the map, you find the treasure, you kill the skeletons or the undead pirates and grab your booty. And when you head back to turn your booty in, you've got these groups of people that are going around the island just waiting to sink any ship that comes in trying to sell their
I like
crap.
solving the puzzles and doing all the cool shit, and it just that ruined it for me, dude. The second it was on Twitch, like madness, it turned into a toxic PvP pile.
Well,
I mean, I don't know why they even have a PvP arena. What's the goddamn point?
here's what you do.
I don't
Here's
know.
what you
Whoever
do on the
hangs
net.
out in there does.
Bob, here's what you do next time you approach an island. You know there's a bunch of douche hats on it. Is load up your ship with a bunch of explosive barrels and then put them into the cannons and then fire them onto the island. Just heave ho. Let them have it.
We used to line, like, before we quit playing, we would line, what's it called? The nose of the boat. The long
Stern?
point. Is that the stern? I was going to say that. I didn't want to be wrong.
Sorry, no,
Sound
that's
like
stern
an
is the
asshole.
back. Bow isn't. Bow is the front.
Anyways, we would line it
Yes.
with kegs, powder kegs, like merged together powder kegs, where it would almost dirt my game out, and we would go nose to nose at a bigger ship and set it all off. Just because that was like all we had left at that point was let's go collect a bunch of powder kegs and try and sink one of these assholes before we get offline. So,
And now, what do we think Kojima is doing for Xbox?
probably something weird.
His
Well,
next
it's
game for
apparently
Xbox.
brand new, like nothing we've ever
Yeah.
seen.
Yeah.
His next game for
Never seen anything
Xbox
like it.
is a swimming simulator, and it's called Life Stranding.
Oh, look, it's probably going to be at least 5 years away, but I think regardless, I think they're making the right moves, and I'm happy to have him on board, and I think it is exciting, and I think it'll be worth the wait. He's very talented.
He's super creative. I just hope it's a horror-based game. I don't care to walk across a desolate wasteland with a baby strapped to my chest in a jar. I'm not a fan of pickled baby. I'll pass. I don't want some weird ladder I pull out of my butt and extend over a huge stretch of crack in the ground, a canyon. I don't care. I'm not saying the game's not fun. I haven't played it. I honestly never will because it's too slow paced for me. That end of story. As long as it's not that, please. Just
Well, did you see the picture on Kojima's timeline of him and Michael Bay together?
No, that's not good. I can tell you that much.
So that sounds like there's something.
You don't like Michael Bay movies?
I like parts of Michael Bay movies.
The Explosion King.
The parts that weren't done by
his
Michael
narrative.
Bay.
His narrative direction in movies, especially series based, like if we want to talk Transformers, is hot fucking garbage. He
Hot
he
garbage.
brutalized the Transformers series. I'm sorry.
Oh my!
The action
someone's
was awesome. It was really fun
boy
to watch.
was
Story
ruined.
He messed up Optimus Prick. Damn it.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure he's probably the reason old Shia Buff or
Shia
whatever
LaDouche.
is
Yeah.
Shia LaBeouf.
that one. Yeah.
Yeah, DeBeouf.
Yeah.
All right.
Hot
Chat,
trash does smell.
let us know.
Iceman, indeed.
Kojima,
Uh,
he's definitely gonna do something that I'm sure there's not going to be anything else like it. But what that is going to be,
What you doing, Doom? I see the ceiling.
no idea.
I got
Optimus
too hot,
Stranding.
so I took my jacket off again.
She's too cold and she's too hot.
Okay,
Well, it sounds like
so
cool email, right?
It's a video game called Life, and she's about to put us on menopause.
That's not funny. This guy. Wow.
and
Moving on.
With new.
drum roll, the very
Which one?
last topic. So there was a game called No Man's Sky, and it barely scratched the surface of a concept. And Bethesda said, "See that? Here, hold my beer." Because I mean, that is what it looks like. No Man's Sky fully evolved. I mean,
No Man's Sky,
I'm
to their
good
credit, is way more than what they ever promised when they dropped that hot turd on the internet. So,
Yeah.
credit where
Garbage.
credit's due, but they are not the same game. The idea wasn't stolen. It's like saying Battlefield stole Call of Duty's idea or vice versa, or any other game.
Exactly.
We want to start talking about stealing shit. Every first person shooter since in 2001 stole everything they got from Halo. So let's just get real for a second.
But Halo, Doom, and Quake.
Yeah, the list can go on. And you can probably track it all the way back to Pong or
Commander
Pitfall,
Keen.
You know?
Not many people remember
I'm getting
the old
Mario
Commander Keen
vibes,
games.
guys. Okay. All those side scrollers, Mario. They're just Mario.
All right. So, what did everybody think about? I mean, was it everything I think it was everything and more than I expected. And I mean,
well, before we go on with that, I actually did I put up a Twitter poll, and I got about 3,000 responses.
Wow!
And resounding,
nice.
Yeah,
I get 3.
Oh,
I get like 30. It's like 3,000.
Yeah. And what was it? 52% Starfield, number 1. Honorable mentions to Forza and to Redfall, but outside of that, Starfield was the number 1. I think it's going to be amazing. It's going to be a 10-year game. I think that a lot of people are going to waste their lives in there.
Yeah, there's a lot of people retiring, quitting their jobs when that game drops, or losing their jobs.
Yeah, me too. No, I'm kidding.
So did you see
I will say I'd be.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
No,
Go ahead.
I'll be interested to see what like the what do you call it? How you interact with other players.
Mm-hmm.
Like I want to know a little bit more about that. And yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that I've seen that people are just being ridiculous about, like
no,
comparing
no player dialogue, like no character.
Yeah,
dialogue.
like what, my character doesn't have a voice. It's about me, bitch. Like I am the main character. Like it is me.
It's fucking Bethesda. Go look at their
They don't
games.
do
Like,
that.
have you
Just
never
characters
played
that
their
never had a
games?
voice.
Like, that's what I
Ever.
want to say to these people. Like, have you played
Yeah.
their games before? Do you know what they
Mhm.
even do?
Most of the Nintendo
Like,
games don't have a voice. It's either bloop, 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 bloop,
yeah, there's a
Yeah,
lot of
that's
blurka, blurka,
right.
blurka type
bloop.
noises,
Worker, worker.
which I'd rather have silence.
And you know what?
personally.
Even if they did have voices and they went through them, they would have been like, "Oh, those voices sound transgender or something."
Yeah.
I don't know. They'd probably find like
Exactly.
something to complain about them. And no matter what was shown, no matter how good it is, the person who doesn't like it and who is toxic is going to, trash
Exactly.
on it. So,
They'd be like, yeah, I created a character now that kind of looks like me, but definitely doesn't sound like me. So
yeah, that's
Yep.
right. So,
I mean, Mario,
and I know about
the
you,
most
but
iconic character of all time, he said, "Woohoo!" and something else, and that was it.
that's it.
Ever.
It's a me,
Mhm.
me,
Mario.
Mario.
There you go.
Mhm. Correct.
That's what he said.
Correct. Although there's one thing that I have seen that I don't know how I feel about it, but I understand why it might be that way, is you don't actually see yourself fly up out of the stratosphere into the space.
People are
Look, and I can imagine that there has to be a loading time, but like it seems unreasonable to think that you can just, you load the whole universe in one go. Like it just, yeah. I mean, I can understand that, but
it
also
could do it chunk by chunk, I suppose, after it's rendered what's in front of you, in the background it could be loading
yeah,
what's in front of
okay.
you, but
Yeah,
I'm
that's
sure
true.
it's tasking. I'm not going to pretend to know what I'm doing. I know how some of it works.
We
just
never
from
saw
research,
ourselves
but,
travel through the stratosphere in
um,
Destiny either.
go look at the countdown or the timing. Like, they always have a clock on any rocket launch that you watch. There's a clock, a timer and a clock and everything. You can go time it and see how long it takes to get outside
Yeah, the
of
time as
our
well. Yeah,
stratosphere
I
and
did
everything,
think
our
of that as
Earth's
well.
atmosphere.
Yeah.
And you will be like, okay, yeah, I don't want to have to do that every time.
I'm going to be sitting here for like half an hour waiting for my ship to get into space.
You want to kill a game, make people take off from a planet repeatedly over and over again after they just got done exploring the entire thing.
Yeah.
So put the option in
True.
there. That was my answer to the whole thing. It's like, give people the option to do it automatically. Okay. Loading screen, whatever the hell it is.
Yep.
Or take off from the ground. Figure it out. Give everybody the option. Yep. The option's there. Nobody's pissed. And it's another option. That's the whole thing. It's an option, right?
Yeah. We like
more
options.
The less bitch. Oh, they'll find shit.
Everyone
out,
wins.
but still. Yeah.
So did you see any of the interviews during the extended showcase where they talked about Starfield?
I did not get to watch it.
So they mentioned that because they you can build your residence or your outpost on a planet, and you can also customize your ship, build certain parts of your ship, or build all parts of your ship. And they were talking about, it was brought up, where to get all these resources, and that is where the drilling that you saw in the gameplay on certain planets actually comes into play.
Where they kind of went through that little cove, right? That little tunnel-looking thing, and hit the wall. Yeah, makes sense.
That's the big thing for me in Starfield. It looks very intriguing, something I definitely want to get into, but I just hope the game is not filled with too much micromanagement. It's nothing that worse than games that, instead of being focused more on the adventure and more on the story, you spend half of your time like trying to get some kind of rock to upgrade something else, to get your ship. Like, that's great for some people, but it needs to me, like, you've got to balance that properly, and you should never feel like you're kind of forced to do it in order
to grind.
Like a lot of these open world games now, with so many of the missions, like they have so many side quests that honestly I'd never care to do, but the only reason I'm stuck doing them is because that in order to to progress or to successfully achieve things later in the game is you have to build up your character by doing these mundane side quests. And I don't want this game to be artificially long, because instead of just doing a story and completing missions that you're engaged in, that's what you're doing. Because that's what lost me when No Man's Sky first came out. It was like land on a planet, and then of course, well, now I got to find a way to get this resource to get fuel, and then I got to find another resource so I can build something, like, you know what I mean? Like, so instead of just exploring, having fun, you were just grinding.
Yeah. No, I have a feeling that I feel like it'll be automated. Like once you start building your base, I feel like a lot of that stuff, it will be required, but I think it will eventually be automated. Yeah. So you'll have, I feel like there'll be a lot of robots. Or hire workers, or have robots, that kind of thing. So
you do have to get to that point. So.
Hey,
yeah, that's true, but that's all part of it,
gonna
right?
be cool, man.
It can't take that.
Cool.
Noob,
that's why you go play.
You want a man? It's gonna be
open world game that doesn't
lay back, bro.
You around. Go play Dying Light 2.
Hey! Look, I played World of Warcraft for 7 years. If I can do it, you can do it.
Oh God, that game's got so much. Holy shit!
I have sat there being smacked in the face by a boss for 5 hours. Same boss, just grinding. It's So, no one ain't gonna tell me that. I have the patience of a saint. So. I'm gonna have fun.
Yo, Bob,
I'm the person
you gotta clip some of that. I want to hear that grinding, and if you can do it, I can do
it. Oh my God! Why am I here?
I'm not
because
sure.
You're awesome. That's why you're here.
I was just waiting for Bob to wear sunglasses. That's why I was here. So I can leave now. It's nice talking to you guys.
Okay, bye, Bob.
Wow.
With you, dude.
It's nice to have a female presence to keep us guys grounded.
I don't think I'm keeping you grounded. I don't know if I am.
Pretty grounded.
We're
if
trying.
You weren't here, we'd have listened to 45 minutes straight of Arnold Schwarzenegger. Trust me.
Probably.
That's right.
Oh my
Get that right, Noof.
Not wrong.
Come Kitty here. I'm glad that you come out to the show. It's great that you could be here. It's awesome. You're gonna set the guys straight. You're gonna put the record out there, and just gonna be awesome. That's what we do here. Come on, Bob, let's go. Put the sunglasses back on. Get out there, kick some ass. Do it.
Okay, you guys. So when I was my stepdad, I literally was sitting next to him watching Terminator, like when I was like 8 years old, and so I am a big fan of the Terminator series, so that really does float my boat. Thank you for that, Nerf. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I appreciate it.
So, when do we think Starfield's going to release? Actually, I mean, yes,
Spring.
They're saying 12 months. We're saying they're telling us everything in the show was 12 months.
Didn't they say it was? Didn't they say it was in the spring though?
Yeah, they said spring.
Be like, I'm guessing May.
April or May.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I give it.
Spring's technically not till May or the end of April, right? So when they say spring, there's probably a couple months.
8 months, probably,
give or take.
Yeah.
Buffer there, so
probably end of March is what I think.
But here, let's think about something real quick. This team or teams that put this game together, they're the same people that prior to the acquisition would probably have released this game when they said they were going to, and we would be dealing with another 76 or a ESO.
That's very valid and spicy, Husk. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So I would almost guarantee you that this shit was shut down. Like the release of this game was shut down. Like after higher up saw it and we're like, oh hell no.
Start again. Throw it out.
Nope.
Throw it out in the bin.
This shit needs to go back in the oven for another at least X amount of months. So
yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
I'm just
you
you can look at history and most of the time you can be pretty accurate with some of what's going on in the future. Like, think about it. They would have, if this was them, if this was just their baby and there was no Xbox tethered to it,
Yep.
I would almost guarantee you would get a broken pile of shit.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
it probably
that's
would
just
be
how it
quite
is.
half-baked. No, you
It
know
may
what?
not-
I think, yeah, it was smart. It was smart
It may
too.
not have been broken, but you'd have definitely been playing by yourself.
Yeah, it would have been like No Man's Sky. Then they
Oh.
could really compare the two because they
They'd be
both
the
would have
same
released
game.
with nothing.
I mean,
Like,
you hate to come back and say, like I said, we're obviously coming. Well, we're still technically in, this
Ouch.
this COVID time. And if you listen
That's
to Pete
Mm.
Hines,
also true.
Pete Hines during the extended edition, like he said, they faced massive challenges with their games, unprecedented
Oh, yeah.
times. So I'm sure. I mean, if you take away like 7 or 8 months essentially of lead time when things are really shutting down, that kind of makes sense in the grand scheme of things. And they know what's right. They're quite aware by the way they talk that they know what's riding on Starfield. They know the reputation that the last couple of games they've released have not exactly set the world on fire. Fallout 76 was supposed to be kind of the be all end all and coming off a fairly successful Fallout 4, but it didn't get received that well, and they're quite
It
aware
was
of
broken as fuck.
absolutely. I mean, kudos to them. Just like the No Man's Sky team, they've stuck with it. They've kept adding. They've
That I
refined
will
it, made
give
it better.
them big time.
But unfortunately for a lot of games, they don't get a second chance to make a first impression. So,
Well, 76 now is a really
Oh,
good
it's
game.
solid.
but who's
Like,
got time to play it now? That's like who's going back
No.
to that? Unless you stayed with the ecosystem, you're just a diehard fan. It's just like like most. I don't think I have a single friend on my of over 300 friends on my Xbox that plays that game.
Yeah.
Right,
I used
that's
to play
kinda
it
crazy.
a lot.
I have
Wait,
a couple that I've seen play it
Noof,
briefly.
Noof. You have friends?
I think so. They at least pretend they're my friends.
No, you know what? I think they're probably hoping with the patch that they're putting in the DLC, the pit. I think they're probably hoping to rejuvenate that
Some
that
of the
ecosystem.
base, right?
Yeah. So
I mean, I
you never
didn't
know. I don't
hate
know.
my time with it when I partied up with Fork and them, but I
think
didn't
you
want
need
to
a
do
party,
it again.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, because
Mm.
you could be attacked by somebody else in 76 and they could kill you and take your shit.
Yep.
it's like legitimately live. Like, that
Yeah.
world is not just yours. So it's
Hmm.
All right. So I know Noof will give the show an 8 out of 10. Husk? What about you?
I would probably say that's the first. I would say 7 or 8. Like, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I never ended up distracted, but I was watching it by myself. Like, I was sitting here, I scrambled to get as much work done as I could so I could justify sitting here and staring at my TV or my monitor for 95 minutes. So I would say a 7 or 8. It was a solid B plus, I guess.
Doom?
Ish. B.
What do you give it?
She's a
Well,
teacher. She's got a grade.
Okay,
Yeah,
well, forget the
Get your
1 through
grading
10.
rubric out.
Oh, A through F.
A through F. Well, you see, in Australia, a C is a person working at the expected level. And an A means they're working a whole year above their expected level.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
Damn.
if we're going to work on Australian, I suppose A means that like you almost got 100%, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, and then A plus is like you got 100%. So
Okay.
so in Australian, I would give it like a C plus. Like, it didn't exceed everything, but it was good. It was what I
Above
expected.
average.
Yeah, it was slightly above average, but yeah. And then if I was going to do it with American, yeah, I'd give it a B plus.
So at 80.
Yeah.
No, B plus.
Yeah, I think
is like an
I think
88
yeah.
to a 93 or something like that. At least here,
What about
I
you, Mr.
didn't.
Bob?
or 90 to a 93.
Shout out to the almost 30 viewers that we've had live tonight across the 3 platforms: YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. And I did not set this up. The whole panel here picked an 8. Yeah, that means it was a good
Yeah.
show.
It's a good show.
Yeah.
Could have been better. We could have seen some things that we wanted to see, but what they showed us wasn't
Yeah.
bad.
I mean,
Agreed.
look, put it this way: you can almost put in a 0.5 here. A part of those marks could literally be like if all these
7.5.
games,
I would-
for example, literally do come out within the
Can we
12
do
months-
half points? Is that the decision?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
But if
7.5.
all these games actually do come out
That's what the
within their
plus is.
expected window, then I mean, yeah, like the game is good. It's good. But if most of these games are going to turn out to be the same old crap we saw before, where they come out and they're supposed to launch, say in July, and oh now it's pushed to November, or now it's pushed to 2024, and you know damn well there's going to be a few of these games that are not coming out in their target window. You know that's the whole
That is
thing.
why it's called a target window.
Yeah. But
Not
they
everybody
need to
shoots
start
straight.
coming out, like somebody needs to finally drop a game that actually, okay, this is our date, and it actually hits the date, or maybe even surprise the living shit out of us and comes out early. Like, why is it always got to be the other way around, where the games are always, oh, I'm sorry, but to tell you it's going to be another 6 months. Yeah. You know, there's that. And like I said, if this show would have been amazing if we had saw a little bit of the future instead of the present time. And I get it, Microsoft, but who's Microsoft listening to anymore? Are they listening to like you know, the competition or stuff from their perspective, or they listen to their fans? Because a lot of us had our what we'd like to see pre-show shows on YouTube, and very few of us had even had anything from our predictions or from our what we'd like to see in there. So I'm like, so it tells me that Microsoft wasn't listening to any of us. That's for damn sure.
They
We
heard
seem to have
you.
lost
No.
Cutie. Oh,
Yeah. So,
I
like, you know, for me,
yeah.
it would have been an amazing show if we just saw at least Hellblade, perhaps a little Fable. I mean, they got to have something done on
Right.
Fable now, enough to even give us a CGI trailer at this point. Like, come on, like, we need to know what's going on with. Well, I've said this 100 times. Like, what is going on with Rare? They're too good of it and too talented to be just constantly just, hey, we're just Sea of Thieves. We're just a Sea of Thieves studio now. Like, come on, show us something else. Bring us something new. You know, stop with the live service shit and fucking make something new. That's my thought. So it
I
would have been
agree
nice
with
to
you.
see a
I
little bit
think
more future stuff. Move on from Sea of Thieves. Like, you don't need seasons on every damn game out there. Like, come on.
Well, I don't feel like they need an entire team working on it either.
No.
Like, you could relegate some of your team to it to keep it doing what it's doing and pull people in when you need to do a big thing. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Maybe their team's not that big. I don't know.
I
That's their
think
baby.
so.
I
Hey
guess.
guys,
Eight
I'm
out of-
sorry. I'm sorry to interject.
Yeah.
But I do have to go.
Okay.
It's almost the end of recess, and I need to go back to work.
All righty.
All right. Well, Doom Cutie,
Good talking with
thank you for joining us. Can you please tell all our wonderful viewers where they can find you at?
You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Instagram, all as Doom Cutie. You can find me mostly playing Xbox, although I do have a new PC. So, and it's Doom Cutie, but the I is a 1. So feel free to add me. And yeah, I Twitch stream. So I Twitch stream Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. So I'll be streaming tonight, my time, and I'll be streaming Forza Horizon 5. And yeah, that's it. I do have a YouTube, so if you want to follow me on there, I've got like not many followers, but yeah, if you want to follow me there, you can. And that is all, my friends. Thank you so much for having me.
And
Nice
if you
to meet
didn't
you.
get enough of her here, you can catch her tomorrow on the Xbox
True.
Infinite podcast
Oh, nice.
Yes,
with the rest
true,
of the
true.
Australian misfits. Yes.
Yes. Well, Infinite Umbra. He's not Australian, but
No, he's not.
yeah, we adopted him. So,
But the majority
so
of
yeah,
you are.
I do have my podcast. It'll be 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for you guys.
Special
So,
message for you,
yeah.
Jim. I just wanted to say it's an honor and a pleasure to finally get to meet you on the podcast, and I just wanted to hope for you that you're going to be back. Now go get to the classroom, teach the students, be good, do it.
Oh, thank you so much, Noob, and thank you, Huskin. Thank you, Bob. Have a great
Anytime.
night, day.
Okay, take care.
Same.
See ya.
Bye.
I agree with you, Noof. I really do. I'm gonna get my thoughts in. My cutoff is at 9, so I still have a few more minutes. I can sit here and bitch and moan about something. I will say this: we've seen a number of broken games released. Okay, like broken. We've talked about some of them already or mentioned them. I think Cyberpunk kind of got the entire industry to take a step back and look at their timelines and their pushing and their overtime and everything else. I think that changed a lot of stuff. I really do, because holy shit, the heat coming off of that one was ridiculous. As much as I would love to see, some Halo or some Fable or especially some Hellblade. Let's get this out there real quick. Hellblade is like in my top 2 or 3 all time games. I've beat it like 7 fucking times. Okay, so my hype level for Hellblade 2, you can imagine, is pretty high. But we have seen it. And it wasn't that long ago. Now, don't get me wrong. I would have absolutely loved to see it. But you got to remember, this team that was like 20 some people at one point is they're finally growing, but they're actually able to work on more than one project at a time. So they're having to relegate time. And I think they're trying to make this Hellblade a proper showcase, like a fucking masterpiece. So think if you're writing your swan song, man, you don't want to fuck that up, right? We've seen what we've seen. If you give away too much, then you're expecting more, and this and that and yada yada. And the other thing, you also have 23 other studios you're having to oversee constantly. You have numerous different genres and niches, demographics you have to target. And trying to, there's a reason studios like being there in WEG. They like the people that work there constantly just spew nothing but positivity, because their work environment is one we all wish we could have. So, I mean, instead of pushing everybody to the breaking point or releasing a game that's dog shit, or showing something too early that will be changed in a couple months, like doing anything that is going to get you criticized these days will fucking ruin you. It will. It is a digital online world, and every fucking word you say and everything you show is another weight on a seesaw. It's very dependent on the people of the internet that day, which side of the seesaw it fucking falls on. And if you fuck that up, if you put it on this side and everything's positive, 2 months later, you change something or break something or release a game that's unfinished that you don't want to show yet. You're not ready, but you're getting pushed on to do it anyways. And then something happens after the fact, that negative weight's it's gonna smash the seesaw, and you're dicked. Like that's it. That's a hard hole to dig out of. I mean, you could
We've
go read
definitely
horror
seen that
stories about devs. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
because
Like, we
the
just gotta
execs
stop
at CD Projekt
expecting
Red,
so much. I know it sucks. I'm a gamer too. But fuck, my backlog's got so much dust on it, I might have to dig for a week just to get to it. Like, I don't know. I'm over it. Like, there
My
is
backlog's so
not
big it reminds me of the shit I just took.
the positivity in the gaming community overall is at the lowest fucking levels I've ever seen it. Like, I part of me wants to leave it. Like, it's fucking disgusting. And no matter how many times you hit the block button or words you mute or any of that, dude, it's there. It's on your timeline on a daily basis. Nobody can wipe their ass right. It's like, shit, you sneezed wrong. you put your period or a comma in the wrong spot in your post. Canceled.
now I do think that Microsoft has seen what the execs CD Projekt Red did that gave us Cyberpunk, and ZeniMax pushing Bethesda to release Fallout 76 when they did has done. I, I do believe that the issue with Halo Infinite has been they didn't realize they were at the state they were in. It already did a 1 year delay on the game, and they were like, well,
Well,
not
yeah,
going
they
to
took an
release.
entire redirect like midway through its
Right.
cycle.
I mean,
It's
it
like,
came down to, do we delay it again, or do you give it to them without co-op and Forge?
and honestly, you already had all your marketing shit out there and all your deals, and you had a solid campaign. I had no problems playing that thing at all. Loved it. Multiplayer's solid. Well,
Yep.
no, that's very debatable. There's still some things that are broken, but it's playable. It has some content. It could have been worse. It could have been better. It could have been a lot better. So,
Well,
all right, guys.
yeah.
Just to end off and just say, like, Microsoft, I mean, and perhaps they played it safe as well because they knew Sony didn't have anything. They knew the competition really didn't have anything to show. So they could basically come out with a show that was halfway in the middle, and it still obviously would be better than somebody that shows nothing, right? I always found that funny in past years. It's kind of like, well, Xbox had a terrible show, and you're like, no matter how terrible it was, terrible has got to be better than absolutely nothing, So give them credit for at least showing up. You don't get the participation prize if you don't even come to the party. So at least Xbox looks like they're still trying to do something right by their fans. Where's the other guys? I mean, what are the other guys doing at all? I mean, Nintendo's virtually been absolutely silent. Sony's only come out with a few of these state of plays every once in a while, and that's usually like 30 minutes long and focuses on one game that's usually about to release. So they're not exactly blowing the doors off with anything here right now. So, like I said, but I think Microsoft maybe played it safe. Again, they heard too much of the, well, you're showing stuff that's so far out. We don't want to see that. So it's hard to know. But like I said, it was not a bad show. They showed what we want to see. Lots of games, some new stuff, lots of diversity. So there was definitely something there for almost everybody. And our backlogs are huge, and there's more games coming. So, I think this time next year we're all going to be eating a handful of turd for sure, because there's going to be some big announcements by next June when things start to ramp up a little bit.
Their strategy will work. It just does need time, more time than it probably would have without this whole post-pandemic nonsense.
Absolutely.
I will say the one thing that I believed that I hadn't heard, but that I believed would have been announced at the Xbox Bethesda Showcase, and it wasn't. And I'm really disappointed about it because I want Age of Empires on my console. And we were told we were getting, and then it's been silence.
Maybe they're having a
Sad.
hard time porting it. It's possible. I don't know how that'd be possible now that the OSs and the hardware are so similar, but I'm not a dev, so I can't speak on it. But
Right.
they had to have run into a snag, almost, you'd think, if
I
they
mean, I
promised
play
it and it didn't show up.
I play Age of Empires on my PC, and I literally never touch any of the hotkeys on my keyboard. I do it all with my mouse. I can do that with an analog stick. Just give it to me.
Bob, I appreciate the invite, buddy. I have to get out of here. I'm overdue. I'm getting gnarly looks here.
You're
Noof,
good,
buddy.
Husk. We're gonna
buddy.
we're gonna
It's
wrap
been
it
a
up.
while.
It's good.
Thanks,
It
Husk.
was good to hear you again. Yeah, love you guys. Shout out to the chat that I can't even see who's talking. I apologize. I'll jump back on here one of these days, Bob. You just hit me up, time it right.
No problem,
good.
Husk.
All right, love you, fellas. We're out.
Yep. Be
Later,
good.
Husk. Peace, man.
And with that, I guess we'll go ahead and wrap the show up. Newficum, appreciate you accepting my invite. Kind of feel like you come out of hiatus to talk games, and the community has missed it. Really have. I would ask you, where can people find you? But
hey, man. Well, I'm still around. I still have a Twitter, and people can still DM me as you did. And I told you, I said I would do some shows when there was enough stuff that felt warranted to talk about. This was one of those occasions. I mean, Microsoft only does one of these big shows every year. So, for us, we call it the gaming Christmas. This year I felt like it was good, just could have been better. But yeah, man, I'm still around, and I haven't given up on things. I will come back eventually and go full time back into the streaming venue when I feel that I've accomplished what I want to do and the timing is right. But for now, I'll take the guest invites on occasion, and all that good stuff, man. But thanks so much for having me. It's always an honor and a pleasure to be here with you. It's kind of like I said, it's sad that Lupa was not here to be with us tonight, Power Man, etc. But Huss is a fantastic guy and a fantastic guest. And Doom Cutie, well, what can you say, man? She lives up to the name. She took some shots at me throughout the show, and she is absolutely a cutie in every which way and form.
Yep.
And so yeah, it's great stuff. Another much needed female voice in the community. I wish her all the best. Wish you all the best, and this podcast, and hopefully more people will start coming out and giving this show a chance. That's coming from me, guys. So please follow KY Bob. His companions here as well, and let's get some more people out here, some bodies in the chat, and enjoy a great show. But again, man, otherwise, like I said, hit me up on Twitter, catch me on Xbox. After this is done, I'm going to be firing up Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Shredder's Revenge. I'm going to be looking for some bodies to go kick some butt with. So if anybody's interested,
I would
now's
love
the
to
time.
play that with you. I would love to play that with you if I didn't have to go to bed to go work.
Well, I got to go to work in the morning too, but hey, it's only 9:08 in my time, and I don't go to work till 10 in the morning, so I got a few hours to pound away here.
Okay. Lucky. Noof, again, thanks for coming on. I promise I won't, because for a while there I was sending you invites to the show every week. I promise I won't.
Hey, man, you don't know if you don't ask, and so I appreciate the invites, regardless of the fact I couldn't make one. I apologize for that, but it's always appreciated.
All right. And everybody listening, if you like what you heard, if you like what you've seen, like, share, subscribe, tell a buddy or two. This is KY Bob, your host. You can find me on Xbox, PlayStation, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, all KY Bob. The show is broadcast on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. This is actually the only thing I do on Twitch, so I don't do any gameplay on Twitch. And yeah, it was great to see everybody, and it was great to be seen. Y'all have a good week and good night.